What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. All right, so I just wanted to say first off, there is a new Falcons decor in the background, and it's really cool in person. It's this like it's just a light up, sign. But the only reason I'm not lighting it up right now is because it's such a distraction. Like here, this is what it looks like. It's distracting, isn't it? Dang, you did not see that. So, I thought it was gonna look much cooler in the camera, but unfortunately, it's kind of not. So, I mean, unless you guys liked it, if you liked it, I guess I'll keep it on. But anyway, here are you guys' mailbag questions, and again, per usual, there were really good ones, especially by my good friend Archangel. So I thank you, Archangel, and for everyone else's kind comments. And let's get into it. That one Falcons fan for life asked, a report suggested that Cordero Patterson gets traded to the Cowboys. Should we even consider trading away a fan favorite? No, I would not do that. At least not of 2023, right? Like, if he doesn't really perform well this year, or maybe he just doesn't get much of the offensive workload. Like if he basically just doesn't help us on the offense all that much, and we're using Bijan and Tyler Algier a lot more, then sure. So if he gets either underutilized or if he underperforms, then sure, I would trade away Cordero Patterson. But for now, I would definitely keep him, because it's not just offense that we need help with. We also need help kick returning things. So you need as much veteran help as you can. Archangel asks, which is the number one team that you are looking forward to seeing the Falcons play against the most this season? I really look forward to the Detroit Lions, because for one thing, Detroit was never really all that good in years past, and I'm just kind of interested in seeing if maybe the tables have turned. But also because I think they have turned the tables around so far. Like, I really like the team that they're building, and I think that is going to be a very competitive game in Detroit. The Jaguars game in London is another one. Self-explanatory, just a traveling game in London, trying to prove ourselves versus the Trevor Lawrence-led Jaguars is big. And then I would have to say the last one would go to... who are we playing late in the season? Who are we playing late in the season? Why can't I think of it right now? Well, at the moment, those are the two games that I can really think of that I'm really excited for. Archangel asks, if you could add any player from any teams this year, what player and position would that be? Okay, I'm like a broken record with this, I'll admit. But DeAndre Hopkins, please. I would love DeAndre Hopkins a lot. You need that veteran help to help Desmond Ritter improve, and Drake London and Grady Jarrett and all that. Grady Jarrett. I said Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I don't know why I said Grady Jarrett, but I'm pretty sure I said that. But I would love to get DeAndre Hopkins. And if you're trying to make the playoffs this year, you're getting yourself an impactful player to do that. And it's also just veteran help. Like, you want your team to be fairly young, but not that young. By the way, I rewrote the question because I forgot that you said any team. So I think that question was not just which free agent would you want to get. Just like in general, like, is there a player that is on a different team that you would like? And I'm going to stay away from obvious ones. Obviously Aaron Donald would be really impactful. Obviously Patrick Mahomes would be nice. All of that is good and well, but I would love to get Tyreek Hill, because you have Cordero Patterson at kick return, but what about punt return? You could get Tyreek Hill to punt return things. That would be nasty. And then on the offense, obviously you just have a wide receiver one, and it would give Desmond Ritter some help. Archangel asks, what might scare you the most about this upcoming season? I would have to say just, is Desmond Ritter the guy? I'm not worried about, how our run game's going to be. I'm not worried about our secondary. I'm not worried about our linebacker. Well, I mean, kind of, but not that much. I'm not really worried about the pass rush at the moment. We say that every year, but I'm not worried about it right now. And then our receivers I like for the most part. It's just, is Desmond Ridder the guy at quarterback? Which I think he'll play well. I'm not too worried about it, but if I had one concern, I would say it's Desmond Ridder. Archangel asks, what excites you the most about this upcoming season? Oh, run game literally all the way. Bold prediction here, but I think there's going to be historically great. I think there's going to be a historically great run game this year. This is like a run game that you're going to look back in years past and say, man, will this run game be as good as the 2023 Atlanta Falcons run game? Because Bijan Robinson, a lot of people are predicting like a 2,000-yard season, and they're giving him Hall of Fame, potential already, which I think is a little too much for a rookie, but I do still think he can get there. And then Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson to help out Arthur Smith and the run blockers that these running backs are going to have. Not worried about it at all. I think the run game is going to be special. And the passing game statistics, I don't want people to, overreact to it. I think most of the run game stats are going to look bad only because the majority of our offense was running the ball. So that's how good I think the running game is going to be. Archangel asks, which is your favorite Falcons uniform combination of late? Or which Falcons uniform would you like to see the Falcons wearing? My favorite uniform combo as of late, besides the color rush, I thought the color rush was amazing. I don't know why we stopped. Man, I am in the minority. I really am, but I love the gradient jerseys. I think the gradient jerseys are better than the all black. I just do. I think I just like the overall creativity and how it's more than just one color you can see. Like the all black jerseys, to me, it's way too much black. Way too much black. Like the black helmets, and then most shoes, most of their cleats are black. And then the all black, pants and jerseys, it's too much black, and you barely see any white and red. And I don't like that. I just don't think there's a lot of, it's too bland. But with the gradient jerseys, you got the black helmets, and then you got red, and then it fades into black. It kind of looks like the old Falcons uniforms from, 2002 or whatever to 2019 or whatever. And I think, the Falcons colors are mostly red and black, as you can see. And I just think that the gradient jerseys rep that a lot more. I'm such in the minority for that. And I also just like the creativity, it was a little different. But which one would I like to see them wear? When my brother and I were playing Madden, I was making I was customizing what jerseys I wanted to wear. And I put the white uniform on and the red pants. And we both were like, why are they not repping this? This is kind of awesome. And the Falcons shared that they made these jerseys, and then they for some reason just never wore it. So I would love to see them wear the white jerseys and the red pants. I think it would be awesome, just like a little bit of a change. XBOBT886 asks, what was the best move of the Falcons offseason? I feel like everyone's go-to would be Jesse Bates. And, I wouldn't fault you for that because obviously it's, he's what he is. Like, Jesse Bates is probably the best safety in the league. No, he's not probably the best. He just is the best. Right next to possibly the best corner in the league in AJ Terrell. And, that's self-explanatory. So you could obviously say that was the big offseason move. And I do think that is what attracted the free agents the most. Like when they were like, oh crap, they got Jesse Bates. I want to go to Atlanta now. So I would not fault you for that. But man, I did think Calais Campbell was also a big signing. If there was any unit on the Falcons that needed veteran help, it had to have been the pass rush. Like we need pass rush help every year. And just getting Calais Campbell who can coach up these guys and is a great locker room inspiration and hopefully can still play at that elite level like he once was, or at least close to it. That was also a great signing. And I honestly think the Taylor Heineke signing was kind of underrated. Like, if Desmond Ridder does not work out, Taylor Heineke can step in and probably give us enough to make at least like the 7th seed or the 6th seed, or maybe even win the division. I don't know. So I'll probably say Jesse Bates was the best, but man, I don't know. There was a lot of great moves. Archangel asks, who will have the most sacks on the defensive line this year? I don't know. Like, I don't think it'll be Calais Campbell just because of his age. I don't think it'll be Grady Jarrett because they're probably going to double team him the most. I guess Arnold Ebiketie, but I'm not too confident in it. Like, all of these pass rushers could get around the same sack number, I think, because they got Ryan Nielsen to help them out. And, I don't know if any one of them are going to be double teamed more than the other, or barely, I guess. So, I don't know. I'll have Arnold Ebiketie, but I'm not too confident in it. But I do feel confident that he's going to have a better year than he did last year. I'll put it that way. I think he's going to be amazing. Archangel asks, do you have anything else that you want to let out on the bag or updates or any news that you want or need to tell us, your subscribers? As much as I love that question, as far as like news goes, there's not really anything new. I know I keep saying this, but there is an interview coming. It's kind of getting harder and harder to figure out when we can record because it seems like something kind of keeps coming up and we have to like postpone it. But anyway, something's coming. And then, as you can see, there's more like stuff to hang on the wall, but yeah, there's no like news necessarily. It's kind of just the dead period at the NFL and, nothing new is to be reported. But the only other thing I have to say, please, if this is too corny, it was not my intention. I'm just simply saying that the support that I got from this year was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I have to say thank you all because the TikToks, I started to really, blow up on those and start uploading on those a lot more. And I've noticed some names from YouTube that are coming to the TikTok. So that means that you guys are interested in seeing those. And I really appreciate that. And those are really blowing up. The shorts are getting like near 1,000 views every time. So it kind of feels nice to kind of get back out there. I think your guys' support, obviously the schedule predictions video I made, there's a bit of chaos, but I think we all resolved and we are back in this. And, your guys' support has been really good. I'm not trying to sound corny. It's just, I really do have to say thank you for your support. Because, getting the chance to not even just make a video for you guys, but to interact with you all is really nice. And I feel like I'm starting to get back into reading the comments again. I'm not sure what made me stop, but I'm starting to get back into it. And it's nice to just read how you guys feel about everything. And every interview I bring in, you guys like it a lot. So, and all the other projects outside of Rise Up Rundown, you guys are also checking out, which means a lot to me. So I thank every single one of you for that. So just really a huge thank you to you all. And I think we're going to have a great season. So thank you all. And please stay tuned for what's next. Archangel asks, who is the best quarterback to the worst quarterback within our division? The NFC South from first to fourth. All right. So, this might trigger people, but it also might not. If you said that Desmond Ridder was the worst quarterback in the division simply because he was a third-round pick and he only played 4 games, I would disagree, but I would understand it. Like, I would be like, okay, that's fair. Like, sure, like Desmond Ridder isn't really proven. I feel confident that he's going to be fine. I do think he's going to outperform Baker Mayfield this year. It's how confident I feel in Desmond Ridder. So, I'll put it that way. I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the division, but if you said he was only because he's unproven and he only played 4 games, I can't really fault you for that. Like, it would make sense, but here's my personal ranking. I think the first, not by a landslide, but I would have to say Derek Carr is number 1. Let's be honest here. Derek Carr probably is the only proven quarterback so far. It's not like he's some great quarterback, but, with a rookie in Bryce Young, a guy that only played 4 games in Desmond Ridder, and then Baker Mayfield and his, I don't know where he dropped off. It was kind of random, but he did. you kind of have to say that Derek Carr is number one. Let's be honest. Do I think it's going to stay that way throughout the year? No, not at all. I do think his weaponry downgraded as he went to New Orleans. He doesn't have Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow and all that. So, that's one thing. But two, he's an inconsistent quarterback, and maybe he gets benched for Jameis. I don't know. So at the moment, I'll say Derek Carr's number one, but I don't think it'll stay that way. Number two, I'll give it to Desmond. I know that sounds biased, but I'm just being honest. He really didn't play that bad last year. Number three, I'll give to Baker Mayfield. He's not some great quarterback, but, it's what it is. And then only because he's a rookie, I'll put Bryce Young at 4. But how do I think it's going to be in the end? All right, now, in the end, I do think Baker Mayfield's going to be the worst quarterback in the division. Third worst is probably going to be Derek Carr. Second, I will have to say Desmond Ridder. I do think that Bryce Young is going to be as good as advertised in the end of the season. Maybe even get Rookie of the Year conversations. You never know. I do think Bryce Young is going to be a good pick for the Panthers. So, hate to say it, but I do think Bryce Young will be number one in the end. But Desmond Ridder will still play good enough to be at least second, which is still pretty good. And also, keep in mind, our offense is mostly going to be running the ball and not passing the ball. I do think Desmond Ridder needs a little more time to develop. And also Arthur Smith. I do think Arthur Smith needs a little more time to develop his pass game skills, but I don't know. We'll see. And then Archangel asked, we averaged 22 points a game last year, which I did not know. I thought we were a little lower than that for some reason. So how many points will we average this year? I do think, maybe this is like an unpopular opinion, but to me, I think a truly great and elite offense averages 30 points per game. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's, to me, what makes an elite offense, is scoring 30 points a game. And maybe I only brainwashed that in my head because Matt Ryan in the 2016 offseason was like, we're going to score 30 points a game. And everyone laughed at first, and then obviously that ended up being true. They were literally the number one offense in the league. So maybe that's why I only think 30 points per game is an elite offense, but I don't know. That's how I think. But how do I think we're going to do this year? I don't think we're going to get quite that. I don't think we're going to get 30 points per game, but maybe 25 points per game. I think that sounds about right. Like that 25 to 27 points per game. I think that sounds about right. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I appreciate every single one of you guys for your questions and your support. And just your loyalty to this team, because it looks like hopefully this year could be trending up for this team. We shall see. I'll see you guys next week for your mailbag questions. Stay safe, and as always, res up.